What is up, Bears family? Lucas here, and man, my heart is still racing. The NFL schedule just dropped, and it feels like Christmas morning in Chicago, but with a side of absolute disrespect. Our Bears social team literally blessed us with that Bob Ross masterpiece pure art, right? But while we're out here painting happy trees, the North is getting salty. The Vikings just took a low blow at our QB1, Caleb Williams, and honestly, it's exactly the fuel we need. We're talking schedule reveals, divisional wars, and a season that feels like destiny. Let's get into it right now. Before we break down this absolute madness, I need to ask you guys for a huge favor. We are on a mission to hit 3,000 subscribers, and I want you to be part of this family. If you live and breathe Chicago football, if you're ready to see Caleb take over the league, hit that subscribe button right now. Let's show the NFL world how loud Bears Nation really is. This community is everything to me, and I can't do this without your energy. Now let's talk about that schedule release because, honestly, the contrast between us and the rest of the division is just wild. Our media team went with a Bob Ross theme, and it was perfect. It was calm. It was creative. It was sophisticated, kind of like how we expect Caleb to operate in the pocket. It felt like a happy little accident that we're suddenly the most exciting team in the NFC North. But then you look north to Green Bay, and man, what were they thinking? They went with this bizarre claymation format that just felt off. It looked dated, clunky, and honestly, a little bit weird. It's almost like their creative team is as confused as their secondary is going to be when DJ Moore is running past them in Week 16. But the real story, the one that's got my blood boiling today, comes from Minnesota. The Vikings decided to get cute. They decided to poke the bear. And I'm not talking about just any bear. They went after Caleb Williams directly. We all know Caleb is a different breed. He's got that California cool, he's got the personality, and yeah, he paints his nails. To us, that's just Caleb. It's his tribute to his mom, it's his ritual, and frankly, as long as he's dropping 300 yards and 3 touchdowns on people's heads, I don't care if he paints them neon orange and blue. But the Vikings social team couldn't help themselves. They saw an opportunity to take a jab, and they took it. It's that classic divisional pettiness that makes the NFL so great. But it also makes me want to see Caleb absolutely dismantle them. We're seeing the narrative shift from hope to expectation. And these other teams are starting to feel the pressure of a rising powerhouse in Chicago. And here's the thing about that Vikings video that really gets under my skin. They set the scene in this high-end, upscale restaurant kitchen, right? They're prepping 17 different dishes for 17 games. It's clever, I'll give them that. But for our Week 2 matchup at Soldier Field, the chef whips up this bear claw pastry. It looks delicious until you see the icing. They literally frosted beers across the fingernails of the pastry. It was a direct, unmistakable shot at Caleb. They described it as a sweet, flaky pastry with frosted paws. Now, I know some people will say, Lucas, it's just a joke, stay calm. But then you realize this is how they see our franchise player. They see him as a gimmick. They see him as someone they can mock before he's even stepped on the field for a snap in 2026. Let me explain why this matters. Caleb has dealt with this noise since his USC days. People have questioned his toughness, his football character, all because he chooses to express himself differently. But when a rival team puts it in their official schedule release, that's different. That's bulletin board material. That's the kind of stuff you tape to the locker room wall. I want Caleb to see those frosted paws every single morning of Week 2. I want him to feel that slight. Because here's the reality. Football is a game of respect. And right now, the Vikings don't give us any. They think we're still the same old Bears that they can bully. But they're forgetting that we have a generational talent under center who thrives on proving people wrong. I'm not gonna lie, seeing that video made me want to skip the whole summer and go straight to September. We aren't just a sweet pastry they can snack on. We are the monsters of the Midway, and this frosted disrespect is going to backfire so spectacularly. Now it gets interesting because this isn't just about one game in September. This is about the entire hierarchy of the NFC North. We are tired of being the hunters. It is time for us to become the ones being hunted. The Vikings think they're being funny, but they've just invited a storm into their stadium that they aren't prepared to handle. But the Vikings aren't the only ones we have to worry about. When you look at the full 2026 slate, the road to the playoffs is a gauntlet of bad blood. We don't even play Minnesota again until the very last game of the season. That means the Week 2 matchup is our only chance to set the tone early. But look at the end of the calendar. Week 16 against the Packers. Week 17 against the Lions. Those are the games that will define who we are. I'm telling you, as much as I want to crush the Vikings for the nail-painting jokes, sweeping the Packers is the ultimate goal. We haven't swept Green Bay since 2005. Let that sink in for a second. That is over 2 decades of frustration, of "Go Pack Go" echoing in our own stadium, of feeling like we're always one step behind. But the energy this offseason is different. The Packers players have been chirping. They've been throwing out trash talk for 6 months straight, acting like they still own the keys to the division. Jordan Love thinks he's the next in line for the throne, but he's never seen a Bears defense this hungry or a Bears offense this explosive. The schedule makers did us a favor by putting those games late. It gives Caleb time to mesh with Rome Odunze, time for the offensive line to gel, and time for the city to reach a fever pitch. If we can sweep the North, if we can finally take down the Lions and the Packers back-to-back, it won't just be a good season. It will be a statement to the entire league that the Chicago Bears are no longer a one-hit wonder. We are building a dynasty. The pressure is immense, I know. Every eyes is on Caleb. Every eyes is on Matt Eberflus. But man, isn't this what we wanted? We wanted to be relevant. We wanted teams to care enough about us to make fun of us in their videos. The Vikings took their shot, but they better be ready for the return fire. I'm looking at this roster, looking at the schedule, and I see opportunities everywhere. This isn't just about football anymore. It's about reclaiming our identity as the Kings of the North. I'm not gonna lie, I get emotional just thinking about that home opener. Can you imagine Soldier Field? The lakefront breeze, the orange and blue everywhere, and Caleb Williams walking out through the tunnel. Look, I've been a fan through some really dark years. I've seen the revolving door of quarterbacks, the coaching changes, the heartbreak. But this feels different. It feels human. It feels real. When I see Caleb and Kyle Monangai celebrating a touchdown, I don't see a corporate product. I see 2 brothers playing for a city that has been starving for a winner. The Vikings thought they were being clever with their bear claw pastry, but all they did was remind us that we're the ones with the target on our backs now. And honestly, I love it. I love that they're scared enough to mock us. I love that the Packers are talking trash because they know their era of dominance is leaning on a very thin ledge. We've got the talent, we've got the schedule, and now, thanks to Minnesota, we've got the motivation. Man, it's going to be a wild ride. I can already see the headlines after week 2. Caleb Williams silences critics in Minnesota. Bears QB shows Vikings what real paws look like. Avenid at Armenu. It's all right there for the taking. We just need to execute. We need to stay healthy, stay focused, and keep that chip on our shoulder. This 2026 season isn't just about winning games. It's about changing the culture of Chicago sports forever. We are tired of the lovable losers narrative. We are tired of the jokes. We are ready for the hardware. I want you guys to really feel this moment. We are on the precipice of something legendary. The schedule is out, the path is clear, and the disrespect has been noted. Now it's time to go to work. Every single rep, every single practice, it all leads to that moment when the lights go up and the whistle blows. I'm locked in. Are you locked in? Because I'm telling you, this team is ready to explode. We aren't just playing for a record, we're playing for the soul of this city. Let them keep talking. Let them keep painting pastries. We'll keep painting the end zone orange. This schedule release has given us everything we needed. A beautiful vision of our own potential and a clear picture of who our enemies are. From the Bob Ross vibes to the Vikings' petty kitchen pranks, the stage is officially set for the most important season in modern Bears history. We have the chance to sweep the North, to silence the Packers, and to show the world that Caleb Williams is exactly who we thought he was, a superstar. The pressure is high, the stakes are even higher, but the hope. Man, the hope is at an all-time high. I want to thank you guys for riding with me. Your support is the reason I do this, and hitting that 3,000 subscriber goal is going to be such a huge milestone for us. If you haven't already, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below. Does the Vikings video piss you off as much as it does me? Are we sweeping the division this year? I want to hear your takes. Let's keep this conversation going. I'll see you in the next one. Bears Nation, let's go!